Hello, my lovelies. Happy Friday and welcome to our fireside chat. Today, being February, the month of love, we're going to talk about finding love later in life, second, third marriages, how wonderful that is, but what to watch out to keep it all harmonious. I think it is just marvelous. It's wonderful, especially here in the US, that we are open in our society to finding love again after divorce, after a spouse passes, that we don't feel that we have to live out 20, 30 years of our life alone without companionship. So to find love again is absolutely wonderful. We can find love again maybe during our 30s, early 40s. Sometimes we have children from each of the partner comes in with children from previous relationship and they have their own, that's yours, mine and ours. Or we often see partners whose spouse has passed away. They're maybe in their 60s, 70s. They find love with each other. They're not creating a new family besides themselves, but they're bringing their adult children from their previous marriages. This is a wonderful scenario, but one that does come with certain little minefields that you need to watch out for and plan for. Many couples think that a prenup is it. Many of our couples in those later decades have had their full life. They have their homes paid for. They have their retirement accounts. They have their investments. They want to make sure they protect those. And they often do get a prenuptial, which I absolutely recommend. But the prenuptial is really about planning for the possibility of dissolution of that marriage, divorce. It's not planning for a successful marriage, which we hope for through the end of your days. How do we plan for that successful marriage? A lot of couples come in, they have their own retirement accounts, their investments. They name the other of them when we have a nice established mature marriage. The other of them, their spouse, is the primary beneficiary and the children is the secondary, thinking that if I pass away first, my spouse gets to use my retirement account for the rest of her life and then it goes to my children and vice versa. But that's not necessarily the case. If we inherit a retirement account, it doesn't matter who the contingent beneficiary is. We can do whatever we want with that money. And it is that often happens. And I can tell you that this causes great disharmony. The families are bitter, they're resentful. If we do good planning in these scenarios, we can ensure, as I always tell you, that family harmony, because everyone knows that their inheritance is protected and they are much more open to embracing the new relationship. How do we protect everybody's inheritance? How do we maintain that harmony? Good trust planning. Don't depend on beneficiary designations. Don't depend on what you promise to each other, because a further pitfall is another remarriage. So often we have that later in life marriage, children from both relationships, one of the spouses pass away, there might be another opportunity for love and remarriage. Now we're getting further and further from the children of the first spouse to die, and they are the most likely to get left in the cold. We can avoid all of this by good trust planning. We get everything through the trust. We make provision for the lives of both the spouses. We know you want to take care of each other, but we make provision in there for all of the children whom you want to take care of, and no one can change that. It's in a trust. We also put in provision for the possibility of remarriage. If a spouse wants to remarry, and once again, we've said we encourage companionship in our later decades, then they either go along with what the trust has said, further planning, further prenups, and if they choose not to, then they just are no longer in charge of that money. So I can tell you, when planning is done like this, and I always say to my clients, you're here together, we hope you're both healthy. We don't know which of you is going to pass first. We have no idea. So we're not suspecting each other. We're not mistrusting each other. We're protecting everyone. And you can now go happily into your marriage knowing that your children are protected, your grandchildren are protected. It doesn't matter who passes first. What I will also tell you is when all of the family know that this good planning has been done, they are much more likely to embrace the marriage. You are much more likely to see your adult children, to see your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. So as I always say, if you don't get help with me, get help with a good, experienced estate planning attorney who will add the harmony and avoid all the pitfalls of those later in life marriages, and you can just enjoy the love you find again. And I am going to end today with a quote written down so I don't forget again, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Love does not consist of gazing into each other's eyes, but in looking outwards in the same direction. This is how we preserve that harmonious direction for the whole family. Thank you so much, viewers, for your company. Thanks for watching. I will see you again next Friday for our Friday Fireside Chat. Thanks and bye.